Hello, thank you for joining me today. My name is Lawrence Riffle, and today I'll be talking to you about the history of horror films. The reason why I chose this is because I grew up with horror films, and it was one of the first that I watched. I like to sit back, watch horror films, and get scared or frightened or shocked in a way because I find it so fun. So, I hope you enjoy. I would like to start off with what is the horror genre? Mostly it's based around nightmares, hidden fears, or death. It can involve having killers, having ghosts, demons, alien, monsters, and starting now, creepy dolls. And of course, there is much more that you can go on that can scare any person. The beginning of horror genre actually started by Edgar Allan Poe in his literature. Uh, People read his gothic style writing and found it so interesting that people was wondering what it would be like to see it on a big screen. So directors took the chance and started. So at the beginning, horror movies were made for young men with their fantasies. Of course, any guy who will be watching this will know what those fantasies are because I'm pretty sure every guy had them. Later on, they ventured into the females getting more attracted to them, adding them being babysitters, pregnancy, all kind of different stuff to get them more attracted into the films. And if you think about films nowadays, you see more of a female protagonist than a male now. And that's because it still brings in all the males to see the film, but it also brings in the females to also want to watch it as well. The first horror film to be known is Le Manoir du Diable. If I pronounce that wrong, I am sorry. It actually means the House of the Devil. It was directed by Georges Méliès. It was based on a house that the devil was worshipped in and was raised in. It was a short 2-minute film, but back then this entertained people. Some of the old style horror films that I like is Dracula and Frankenstein. Back then, I felt like it was more about trying to entertain the viewers and try to scare them where they will have nightmares for the rest of their lives. My favorite genre of horror is actually called slasher films. They include Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, Child Play, and like Friday the 13th. From there, you can kind of guess what slasher films are. My first film that I actually saw, which was horror, was Child's Play. I was watching it with my dad one day, and I just found it so interesting. But later on, like I started watching Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, and those actually scared me as a little child. I was watching them around when I was 7, so yeah, they were scaring me then. But I found these films so entertaining that I could watch them over and over again. Horror movies now, like Deliver Us from Evil, Devil's Due, Purge, Saw, they're more focused around blood and gore and trying to creep you out instead of entertaining you like these old fashioned films did. Personally, I don't like how the horror genre is going into right now, and I hope it kind of goes back to the old because those are so much entertaining. And you can be like, hey, you remember that awesome horror film? And people will be like, yeah. Now you can't really do that with Purge or Saw or Devil's Due or any of them. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you learned something a little more about horror films. If you haven't seen a good horror film, I'm telling you, go watch some Nightmare on Elm Street. New ones aren't that bad. Thanks. Have a good day.